So it's my pleasure to share with you a few of the major things that we have accomplished this year. You saw this image probably a lot. It is from our first day with the staff, where we definitely reminded people of how important it was for us to celebrate what we thought was the goodbye to COVID. We certainly have learned a lot through that experience, and it was the first time in more than 2 decades that we were able to have all of our staff members in one place. It was a day of electricity, a day of love, a day of sharing. We were very happy to meet all of our staff members at the in-market arena and celebrated not only our survival, but our thriving and our innovation and our support of each other during the COVID period. So we said our official goodbye to COVID that day. We also have continued to celebrate the public school advantage, and you'll hear me talk a little bit about that tonight. It's really important for us to remember that public schools are the bedrock of our nation. We will continue to support our students. We do not ask that they come with all of these special advantages. We take the students, we receive them as they come to us, and we move them to where they need to be. But we also specialize in finding various ways that we can ensure our students are prepared for tomorrow. And as you can see, you will see tonight, we definitely offer the public school advantage. So the public school system, and I'm always amazed as I move about the community, the number of people who really do not have a sense of the public school district. The public school for many people is the school that's in their neighborhood or the school that they're familiar with. The public school district has a diverse student body. We represent or serve about 37,000 students. We have served in the course of 1 year up to 41,000 students, which helps remind you about the transient nature of our community, and it is even more so. There are 26 languages that are represented in the school district, and we also have 56 countries that are represented in the school district. So when you think about the school district, we want you to think of it in this way. 50 schools, 1 e-learning academy, which is a permanent school, and then of course our 5 charter schools. We employ 5,600 employees. We cover 426 square miles. The interesting thing is each month I have an opportunity to meet with high school students, and I often will ask them, how many students do you think we have in the school district? How many schools do you think we have? And I'm amazed over the years of them going from 10 schools, maybe 20 schools, so they really understand now the size of the school district. We are in 7 different municipalities, which means that we deal with 7 different mayors, 7 different police departments, 7 different city managers, and we pride ourselves in making sure that people understand we are here to serve all the students. So 426 square miles, we are the 10th largest school district in the state of Georgia. All other larger districts, the 9 others, are in the Atlanta metro area. One real point of pride was in the midst of the pandemic, we created our strategic plan, the Way Forward 2026. We involved more than 200 people in an intense, nearly year-long process where we developed our strategic plan for moving forward. If you will join me in giving a big round of applause to Mr. Feliciano, the executive cabinet, our board members, and our staff, and our community for participating in this process. So even when things were tough, we were still thinking about our future, and we believe that it is the way that we should be moving. It certainly does chart our path for moving forward. Of course, we are always looking to increase work and life opportunities. What's the purpose of coming to school, as the children will often say to you, if there is no thought about how they will use the information? We're always looking to improve our curricular frameworks and our instructional delivery. We have certainly had a definite movement toward maximizing early learning opportunities. You'll hear a little bit more about that. And then providing support and services for social, emotional, and life skills development. When our children leave us, we want them to be able to do something more than take a test. That is not the purpose of them coming to school. Of course, testing is important because we want to know that they have learned what it is we taught them. We want them to be able to apply what we learned, what they learned. But it is also important for us to think about, we want them to know how to use the skills, and we want them to know how to survive and to thrive. Of course, a big indicator of our success is our graduation rate. It is the 4-year cohort graduation rate. And that is not calculated by us, it is calculated by the state of Georgia. Our current graduation rate for the last class was 87.6%. We have outperformed the state average for 8 consecutive years. We have done that, and we have done it with fidelity. Now, let me make this point, although I think most of you in the audience know this. Nobody just crowns you as a graduate. You must pass your classes. You must also pass tests. And if you don't do that, then of course you're not deemed a graduate. So I want you to be really clear on the fact that we're not making these numbers up, although I think some people might think, oh, if they just make it through the 4 years. No, there's a lot of work involved. We're also very proud to note that in the state of Georgia, there are maybe 13 or 14 schools on a good year of schools that post a 100% graduation rate. Consistently, Woodville, Tompkins, and Savannah Early College have maintained a 100% graduation rate. And that's for several years running. That's not just a one-time thing. It is for several years running. We're very, very proud of those students, and they also share with their other colleagues as well as the staff what it is that keeps them moving and motivated. You probably heard me say this before, that we are in the business of making sure our students are prepared for the future. So we think about when our students graduate from high school. In fact, many, while they're in high school, we want them to be prepared for after they graduate to be enrolled, and for many of them to continue their enrollment in post-secondary education. We also encourage our students and prepare them to enlist in the armed services if that's what they would like to do, because it's really important for us to ensure that our freedoms are secure. And many of the young people that you saw up here tonight, the Jenkins group, most of our high schools have a JROTC troop or group. And one of the things that makes us really happy is many of them are able to go on and enlist in the armed services, but many of the young people who are not involved in JROTC also enlist in the armed services to protect our freedoms. We also want to make sure that young people are ready to go right into employment. I haven't met a college student yet that isn't also going to college and also working. So it's important for us to make sure that the young people are prepared so that they may also be employed. And if they want to do that full time, then certainly that's what we want them to do, but clearly we want them to be employed. And now ultimately, we want them to be prepared also for entrepreneurship. We make sure that our young people understand America is built on small businesses. You can have all the big box stores you want, all the Walmarts, all the Targets, and I love all those places. But America is built on small businesses, and Savannah is a great place to start a small business. So we want to make sure that our students know that. So we talk about being enlisted, enrolled, employed, or to be an entrepreneur. And sometimes they are doing all four at once. We believe in our students and we believe in their capacity to become productive citizens. Many of our young people are also engaged in entrepreneurship while they are in high school, and we support them in various ways that allow them to experience support, but also to run a business. Here is a partial list of the colleges that our students are enrolled in or can enroll in or here's a partial list of the colleges that accept our students at the close of the year. You can't see the entire list. We aren't able to put that there, but I want you to know that we don't accept what they tell us. They must present evidence of being accepted at these colleges and universities. And that's really an indication of the number of young people who are engaging with us and planning for post-secondary enrollment. They have the support at school, they have the support at home or in the community so that they can be successfully enrolled. We take out an ad every year in the Savannah Morning News so that people can see that, but we also need your support in terms of sharing the good news. The counselors keep those letters on file, and those young people often will communicate to us once they've actually made their decisions. Graduation is a pre-K process. You will note in this case, Ms. Audrey King, who is our Regional Vice President for Georgia Power. She is a big partner of ours and a big part of this picture that you see here. This year, based on having a grant through Georgia Power, we were able to open the Acorn Academy. It is our very first academy that serves 3-year-olds. There are 22 of these members of the class of 2037, and they are eagerly learners. We have seen them from the very first day when there are lots of tears, but also lots of songs and lots of excitement about being in a formal learning environment. What's really exciting is to go and visit them now and see how much they have grown in these few months. We put this together in no time because of the work done by staff and by administration. We were able to get this class up and running. We had the registration open for probably 24, maybe 48 hours, and the 22 spots were already taken. Now, if you know anything about the cost of daycare in Savannah, you would understand why this is a significant undertaking. The state of Georgia does not provide early learning experiences for typically developing 3-year-olds. So we went out looking for additional dollars, privately funded dollars, so that we could provide this service for children. You will hear us say repeatedly, we need more early learning experiences for our children. There are limits to the number of early learning child care services, and child care services are pretty expensive. So these 22 families were certainly gifted with this experience, full day learning experience for their children, qualified teacher and an assistant, very welcoming school community, great meals. So they are having a great experience, and we invite you to visit with them. We have 30 preschool sites across the district. That's 65 classrooms, including 1 pre-K class at Oatland Island Wildlife Center, which is a very, very special place. Our children get to visit with the animals on a regular basis. They either go out onto the premises and visit with the animals as a part of their learning experience, or we bring the animals in. So it is nothing for them to have experiences with animals during their day. The pre-K 2023-2024 applications that were submitted were 1,483. That's up from 1,318 last year. So there's a definite need for pre-K experiences. I would just say, as the retiring superintendent, my personal mission will be to help Every legislator understands that if you want to see improved outcomes, we are going to have to provide early learning experiences for all children. And it should not be limited to a pre-K lottery experience. We're very proud of what we've been able to do with the Little Acorn Academy, and we're proud of what we're able to do with our pre-K classrooms. But we know that the need is even greater. Here's a special project that we actually saw come to life last week. As a part of my work with our community, I went out to ask with Mr. Formey's assistance, and I know Mr. Formey's in here somewhere, to get a soft play area for our youngsters who are at the Henderson E. Formey Learning Center, where we have more than 400 little people who are a part of that experience there. At the Henderson E. Formey Center, the young people are learning not only the academics, but they're also learning mindfulness, they're learning Mandarin Chinese, they are learning coding, and now they have an awesome soft play area where they are learning, as our principal, Ms. Swindell Foster, noted, they're learning to explore, to problem solve, to experiment, to socialize, and to learn to take turns, to learn to work as a team. We saw them when they got on this equipment, which seems really, really, really big. They're not afraid of it at all. They climb through it, they slide down. They did better than me. I could not work my body down that slide. But they were very, very willing to support and encourage each other. We saw it as what we see at the spelling bee. So I don't know if you've ever been to the spelling bee. It's something about that spelling bee behavior where the children encourage each other, and they encouraged each other as they moved about the structure. So we're grateful to CEO Griff Lynch, who is the CEO of Georgia Ports Authority, for their investment in our children. We offer a special thank you to the Formey family and also to Clyde Newton for making it happen. When you get an opportunity, I want you to go over. The only thing is I want you to try going down the slide and have somebody take the picture. One of the areas that we've done a lot of work with, and I'm really happy to see a cross-representational group in our community take this on as a part of our collective responsibility, is we this year formed a literacy task force, which has been the responsibility of Mrs. Bernadette Ball Oliver and the academic affairs team. They've actually come together and examined what it is that we're doing with literacy. And that's literacy, of course, with a focus on our early learning literacy, but more importantly, what are we doing with literacy across all the grade levels? That literacy task force was charged with examining all of the materials, the student outcomes, the curricula, and everything to determine what's working well and what it is that we need to do to improve student outcomes. We're also very proud of our literacy partnerships, because one thing that we know is that children need practice to learn to read well. And they do that when they have the opportunity to read at home as well as read in school. So for several years, we have worked particularly with our partners and also using district resources to provide students with books that they can read at their home. If they have books at home that they like, they will read them often, and then certainly have the opportunity to share with those adults who are around them. United Way this year has added Read United to Savannah, Chatham County, and last month we had more than 900 volunteers across the district reading to children, but they also left books for each class they read to. So a big shout out for United Way, Sherry Dean and Bryn Grant for working with us on that. WTOC had a books campaign where they issued books to children all across the district. We're very pleased with that campaign, and we'll be doing it again this year. So big shout out for WTOC, also for their support of our books campaign. Well, if you don't know it, we have this big event in Daffin Park when we take Daffin Park over. And it really is designed to support literacy efforts and parents' involvement with literacy. It's called Books, Blankets, and Family Fun, and it really is just that. If you come through there, you will see we've been blessed also with wonderful weather on these dates. People who have their blankets rolled out, lots of celebrity readers, lots of book giveaways, but lots of fun activities that are centered around reading and literacy. This year, it is scheduled for April 22nd, and at that time, we'll probably have 8, 10, 11, 12,000 people to join us for the day, so we invite you to do that. And then this year, we took a special approach to ensure that we met the needs of our ESOL and our students, our ESOL readers and families, and we've developed an innovative approach to literacy. We have a grant that's called, we've called it the All Aboard the Reading Express. In partnership with Curtis V. Cooper Health Services, what we've done is left books that are multilingual and multicultural there at Curtis V. Cooper. And when families come in for their well child checkups, the children can pick up a set of books to read. We are excited to be able to reach families that sometimes we are not able to reach by having materials maybe that's not in their native language, but it does make a difference when we can connect with our community partners who are serving the same people that we're serving and have them be a part of our collective effort to promote reading. So big round of applause for Curtis V. Cooper as well. We were so delighted to host our state superintendent, Richard Woods. He comes to Savannah often, comes to see what we're doing. And in this case, he came to see our use of AI and technology in terms of working with our students. We were out at Godley Station. It was one of the places where our students are experiencing a mirror, an innovative approach that allows for children to use this technology both in the classroom and at home. And what was so exciting was when we started this, it was in the middle of the pandemic. And since that time, we have expanded all across the district. You see Ms. Dawn Baker, a proud Savannah Chatham County Public Schools graduate, in the middle, talking about Mr. Woods' visit with us. But it was really exciting to not only share with him the actual classroom experience, but also to have him talk to teachers and to have him talk to students about that experience. And we want to thank Chelsea Barnes, who's quoted here, for talking directly with Mr. Woods, as did other teachers, about her experience and the growth that she's seen with her students over this time. So we're looking always at how we can ensure that we have the right tools working with our students. Here's the thing, all the children are unique individuals. So we are not going to find a one size, one product fits all. Our job is to make sure that we have highly qualified and supported teachers working with our children who are willing to look for and use tools and resources that helps them meet their personal goals. Our mirror growth, more than 112 million words have been read so far this year. And the process that they used to ensure that children are having good practice and also making the kinds of adjustments that we have to make based on dialect. So that's one thing that we've learned, is because it is technology, we have to think about those kinds of things. But it's really been deemed a really, really effective way to increase our fluency rates. So we're very happy about that, and we'll keep all of you informed in terms of how much that grows. Here's some other points that we want to make when it comes to the achievements. So this is what I struggle with every month in terms of sharing with the board and sharing with the public for their consumption, all the things that are happening in Savannah, Chatham County Public Schools. I think one of the things that I pride us on is reminding people that we serve 37,000 plus students. So we need more than one way to reach those students. We have certainly the choice pathways. We have award-winning visual and performing arts programs, lots of hands-on experiences, and because of our movement towards STEAM and STEM, we certainly are seeing a greater number of hands-on experiences. Swimming and lacrosse, we are excited to be working with the City of Savannah to reinstitute our swimming programs, but we also have a district swim team and a district golf team. We have extensive STEAM and STEM programming, as I said, industry certification. We have industry partnerships, online learning, dual enrollment. We are continuing to see students enroll in college while they're in high school. That's really important for our parents and for our students. We want them to take advantage of that. Gifted, advanced placement, international baccalaureate, Montessori education, and certainly we are offering always credit recovery and twilight experiences for our kids. You heard me mention earlier that the E-Learning Academy is affectionately called CELA. It is our permanent online learning school. It is not a program, it is a school. So it meets the needs of those students who wish to learn virtually. Here are a few of the indicators that we've pointed out, maybe in board meetings. You'll see them on our website. But certainly we are very proud of the Georgia School Boards Association Leading Edge Award winner for 2022. It is our second time winning, and it is, of course, for our early learning experiences. We want to thank our board members for supporting that effort, and this latest award was earned under when Dr. Buck was the president, and it is because of their support that we've been able to apply for this award and win it. We have 5 AP honor schools, and all of those schools generally have won that award in more than one category. 2 state certified STEM schools, 1 state certified, 2 state certified STEAM schools, and then 1 state certified STEM school. And we also have a STEM certified program. Governor's honors, we had 15 semifinalists selected. So far this year, you see they're from Islands, Jenkins, Johnson, and Savannah Arts Academy. 2 of our skills exited the state targeted support and improvement list. We have 3 U.S. Presidential Scholar candidates. 2 of our students have been selected to serve on the advisory council for the state superintendent of schools. We had 150 students to attend our very first ever student leadership conference that was sponsored by the school district. And they were on fire. They had lots of feedback, but they also learned a lot. We had 80 students, which is a record breaker for us, 80 students this year that were inducted into the Junior Police Academy. Very excited, grades 6 through 8 students, and they've done a really good job so far of learning and leading. And then, of course, this year alone, Savannah High, Johnson, Groves, Woodville, Islands, Jenkins, Beach, and Windsor Forest have all earned state industry certification. Let's give them a big round of applause. And then last month, we were pleased, very pleased, to earn the Cognia School of Distinction for Savannah Early College High School. The only, say it with me, the only school in the state to earn this distinction. We were delighted that day to celebrate with Dr. Christina Connors, who is the current principal, but also to have join us for that celebration the previous principal under which most of this work was completed, Ms. Caroline Gordon-Jelks. The students were probably like thinking, what is all this? But to be recognized by the accrediting agency for the National Accreditation Agency, and certainly the agency that we use to grant accreditation, they notified us that Savannah Early College earned that distinction, and we were very happy to celebrate with them and the children. So every day we are working to ensure that our young people have the opportunities I spoke to you about, either to continue their enrollment in post-secondary education, or to enlist, to be prepared to enlist in the armed services, or to be fully employed, to be entrepreneurs. I've had the opportunity, as have many of you in this room, to capture what we do on a regular basis with more than 6,000 people across this nation. If you have not seen this video, we're going to let you see maybe a couple of minutes of it, but we'll invite you to see exactly what happens when our young people get the kind of public school advantage that they need to be successful. If the technology is working, we're going to try it. If you want to run a financial institution, you can start that experience in our schools.
So we have opened up our first student-run branch here at Woodville-Tompkins High School. We're very excited to deepen our relationship with the school system and open up this branch and hire students, teaching them financial literacy skills, teaching them what bank accounts are, what a debit card is, how to use the debit card to get them ready for their futures.
Our one-of-a-kind nail tech lab, when you look at that lab, you think you're walking into a commercial environment. Those are the kinds of experiences that our students have. When we look at the students who are studying law enforcement, cybersecurity, we have all of those labs available and experiences available for our students.
The welding program, that's a real big need here out at the facility for skilled maintenance. So we have partnered with Woodville-Tompkins, and we brought their students out here to see our maintenance shops. We've also taken some of our maintenance team over to the school so they can see what the students are learning and give them some tips. The benefit for businesses to be involved with the school district is that we have access to an organically grown workforce. When students come to us and they are invested in this community, invested students and invested citizens are more loyal employees.
I think it's important to partner with the school district to make sure that those social accountability goals and that community benefit actually materializes here where we live. And so that's why we're a partner in that.
My coursework at Beach High School prepared me for the workforce in the future. You can do it. I'm 19, I did it. Yeah, you can do it.
And they also have the experiences that give them a leg up, if you will, or an advantage. And I call it the public school advantage. All right. So this video also includes the pieces that you're not seeing. It focuses on our aeronautics program, our avionics program that we do in partnership with Gulfstream. It also speaks to our drone aviation program and our construction programs, which are at Windsor Forest High School, certainly our engineering programs, which are all across the district, and several other options. So when we say our students have a choice, that means there are 17 career pathways that we cover in all of our schools, and as a conglomerate. And we want you to know that it is important for us to plan for the future. If we only think about what we want, as a mother of 2 children, I wanted my children to go to college. They did. I wanted them to get a job. They did. I wanted them to stop asking me for money. They have not. But they can stand on their own, they make good decisions, they just tend to ask their mother for additional dollars. But all of us want our children to go to college, to pursue learning beyond what they've learned in high school. We want them to make really good decisions about their lives, but ultimately we want them to be independent. And that's what's important for us. Here are some other points of pride I want to point out, that we, of course, have the $15 million Magnet School Assistance Grant for STEM programming, so we've been able to expand that a lot. We've also started this year offering formally e-sports. So we've also looked at the other side of academics. And while we have a full complement of sporting activities involved, that our students can be involved in, we also wanted to make sure that we expanded that. Esports has 2 seasons. They come equipped and they win, and they're very excited about that. So these are some other points of pride for us. This year, I think we have really seen, as you have seen across the nation, a real need for us to think about something other than academic performance. It's really important for us to remember our students are not brains on a stick. They have feelings, and they must learn how to make their way in the world. So we're very, very happy to point out that we are making progress in this area. There's more work to do, but when I think about my entering into the district as a student, when I think about my experience here as a teacher, or my experience here as a principal, or my experience when I returned to the district, we did not have the wide range of services we have that help us look at student wellness and student well-being. We established this year our first wellness center, and Ms. Kim Jackson-Allen is leading that effort for us. Of course, you are probably aware of Dr. Miller Fields and her staff who run our Student and Family Service Center. We're excited. I hear you back there, Dr. Fields. We started our Supporting Our Students initiative, and here's why we did that. You know, coming out of the pandemic, I think we all became aware that we all needed some ways to adjust. And our students, some of them suffered immensely. When they were trying to get services outside of the school district and out in the community through various agencies, they were not able to be served because the demand was so great. So we asked our own professionals to offer additional services for our students and their families after hours. And I am simply delighted and grateful that we have been able to offer services for our students, professional counseling and other behavioral services for our students well beyond the school day, and they are provided by our own staff. As you travel around this state and nation, we take school social workers for granted. But we are fortunate to have school social workers. We are fortunate to have counselors. We're fortunate to have nurses. Not every school district has nurses in their buildings. We are fortunate to have a very strong relationship with the Peer Mediation Center, and they often help us with our students who are battling sometimes emotions or may not know how to solve their problems. We also have and are a significant partner with the Front Porch. The Front Porch, the place where youth and families gather to work through their differences and also to get the support that they need. We are very fortunate to be going into the 4th or 5th year in our partnership with Curtis V. Cooper Mobile Health Services. They roll the health services up to the door. So when people are now just starting to come on into the scene with that, we've been doing that for several years, to the point that we've expanded the number of sites for Curtis V. Cooper to provide services. What our parents do is they sign up for the services, they give us permission, and they roll up to the door on particular days of the week. Our students have their appointments, and they come out to the mobile van, and they get their services right there at school. if they need prescriptions, if they need dental services, if they need medical services, if they need behavioral health services, all right here at the door. That helps us make sure that the children can maintain their attendance at school and participate. We're part of the Georgia APEX program. That is our mental health counseling that is available to our students. They have been in 6 sites, and we've now doubled the number of sites. And we also are part of the juvenile court diversion program. So big round of applause for our efforts. We've done so well until we'll have about 65 or 75 superintendents from across the nation to come and to talk with us about how we've been able to do this. And the one point I make to them is that when the community owns the children, then they will see the needs and they will support us. We have to make those needs known, and we have to be willing to ask. Just to ask them for the support, because the bottom line is all the children are served by us all. Of course, school safety is a big part of our well-being for each of us. We're very happy to point out that our campus police department, our Board of Education police department, which is certified, helps us with many of these things that you see on the screen here. See something, say something, Sandy Hook Promise. These are all parts of our language. It's not anything new to us. Safety screenings, active shooter drills, fire evacuation drills, of course. And then our administrators' safety conference. We want to make sure our administrators are aware of all of the challenges and all the things that need to be done. We have the support of all the agencies in our municipalities. That certainly helps. Our children, our staff, our schools are all across the county, so we need the support of those agencies in terms of protection and responding to concerns. A few days ago, it seems, we had a school safety pledge week where we asked our students to actually participate in a pledge to practice safe living and to not engage with using guns to settle disputes. We're very happy that our children elected to participate in that, and that tells us that they understand too that there must be other ways for us to resolve our differences. And then, of course, you heard me remind you that we had our own student leadership conference where we talked about many of these things that they face every day. We're particularly very, very happy to enjoy a relationship with Chatham County, and we often have Officer Sarhat to talk with our students directly about the dangers of fentanyl and the fact that one pill can kill. Helping them understand that the lives that we lose, the point that I got, some of those lives can fill up like the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. When he said that to them, not only did they look, but I looked too. And recognizing that every day we are seeing more and more young people engage in this behavior. And then, of course, the Mediation Center, which always helps us with restorative practices. The school district does an awful lot that most people do not know about. So I want you to know that our website is a great place for information, but also it's important for you when you learn these things to tell other people. The school district was recognized as the Partner of the Year for the Front Porch, and we're happy to also recognize social worker Melinda Pippin Miller, who received the Judge Leroy Burke Award. She is our staff person who works over at the Front Porch, and we're very, very happy. Thank you. Very happy to recognize her commitment and also the recognition that she received. Here is just a few scenes from our partnerships that we talked about earlier. You heard Mr. Hinchy talk about that partnership we have with St. Joseph's Candler. We have been able to establish our own health clinic at Beach High School. So if you need services, you are welcome to go right there. It serves many, many people in the school, but also many people in the community. Mr. Hinchy and I had our blood drawn by some of the best phlebotomists in the area who were 11th and 10th grade students. So you know it must be something when we roll our sleeve up and let them take our blood, and they did really, really well. So that is our clinic that we had hoped to open for many, many years. It is there and serving not only our school staff, but also many of the neighbors at Beach High School. We are very excited about our aviation manufacturing program, which is at Groves High School. It is in partnership with Gulfstream and Savannah Tech, and we can't wait for the new Groves High School building to be open so that we are able to see a full folding out of that program for our students who are there. And then most recently, this is now week 2, that we've hosted our LEAP program. It is our upskilling and reskilling program that has been designed for our parents. It is designed to help our parents and our staff members who are interested in being reskilled or upskilled so that they may qualify for jobs, many that are coming open in our community. Of course, we did our own pitch because we need bus drivers. So we were working on making sure that a class for getting your CDL was also part of that. This program is a part of our Education Through Equity program that is sponsored by Georgia Power, right along with the program that we have with the Acorn Academy. So Georgia Power has been a big, big partner for us in trying to do the things that we know will make our community stronger. Here is, you saw a little bit of this in the film, where we cut the ribbon on our Members First Credit Union, which is over at Woodville Tompkins. Very exciting time for our students who are studying finance. It is a full-service credit union, and it is run by the students at Woodville. Big shout out and thank you to Members First for their support of our students who are studying financial management. Maybe would have been help to some of the banks that had issues this week. Maybe our children could have helped them out. But we are certainly very proud of that partnership, and Ashley Dubois is the leader who's helped us meet that goal. We have a significant impact. So you heard us talk about our partnerships with hospitality, of course, with the Kessler Corporation, maritime, medical, logistics, aviation. We have on staff, we're one of the few in the state. We have our own economic development liaison, Mr. Clyde Newton. You'll hear us talk about Clyde a lot. He is out in our community learning what it is that we need to do and bringing us the information back. We have developed our own economic development course for educators because we want them to know that what they do in the classroom is directly connected to the economic future of our community and our students. And then, of course, we ran for our second year our Kid Biz Job Experience. Our Kid Biz Experience, we have 5,000 to 8,000 young people to go through and learn about the career pathways that are available to them. We host 2 job fairs a year for our students. We have our work-based learning and our apprenticeships, and of course, as I spoke earlier, we have our family focus, which is on leading and empowering and advancing for our parents. So those are the ways that we continue to make a difference economically. We are one of 6. Savannah Chatham County Public Schools is one of 6 districts in the state that earned the designation of Economic Development Partnership District. We are so proud of that, and it means simply that there is clear evidence that Savannah Chatham County Public Schools does a great job of preparing students for college and career success. There were a variety of processes that we had to go through to earn this, and we're delighted to be one of the 6 in the state to earn this designation. We have definitely demonstrated our evidence of working with students to make sure that they are prepared for the future, for the jobs of the future, and we're excited to be able to share that information with everyone. Here are some samples of our many, many, many community engagement experiences. Of course, we have our expos, back to school, of course, the Success Expo, Books, Blankets, and Family Fun, Business Partner Appreciation, back to school media roundup, as well as our athletic roundups, ribbon cuttings, groundbreakings, and then, of course, in this very room, we have held our district achievement showcases. Those are exciting nights for us as we celebrate achievements by our staff and our students, and sometimes our partners as they support our students moving into the future. Our communications department is a national winner. They won 10 national awards last year. We expect that they will earn even more. You see the kinds of things that they do. We are excited that our word is getting out. What we have to do is make sure that you know all the things that we're doing. So when you get in case you missed it, when you get the board brief, all of those are designed to ensure that our school community and our general community is aware of what we're doing. We have a whole bevy of items in our library where we interview our business partners and also our staff in terms of what they're doing and how they're connecting with us. The communications survey, we're getting that ready now to overhaul our website because we want to make sure that we're keeping up. And then they are also major organizers for big events, particularly our Teacher of the Year and several other events. So we are very, very happy that we can celebrate our small but mighty communications team, national winners. They also did a great job working along with the College of Office and Career Readiness and everybody else who was in sight to put together our 5600 experience at the beginning of the school year. It's because of everybody that we're able to do what we do. And I want to make sure that every employee understands each person has a role. And the way that we can do that test is if any one group decides that they're not going to show up for work, we are in trouble. If all the crossing guards decide they're not going to come to work, it's going to be a problem. If all the secretaries decide they're not coming to work, it's going to be a problem. If all the teachers decide they're not coming to work, it's going to be a problem. So every employee has a significant role to play, and this was one of the ways that we reminded them of their role. The budget, you'll see us go into the budget pretty soon, but we made history last year when we decided, based on the board's leadership, that the minimum wage for any position in this district would be $15 an hour. Now, I don't know about you, but there are places in the city where the minimum wage is $5.25 an hour. $5.25 an hour. And while we certainly are always planning for the future, it's important for us to understand that as a large employer, we play a big role in the economic viability and stability in our community. So we're very, very happy that we were able to do that. Even our students are working at a pace that allows them to earn $15 an hour. When it comes to retaining our staff, we are in our second year of offering wellness days. We are certainly looking at cost of living increases. We have had 50 employees to transition from classified positions to certified positions. That is because we are growing our own. We have established our own Georgia TAP program, which means we have our own certification program. And then this year, we are also a part of the Georgia Leads Pilot District, which is really a new way for us to look at and support teacher growth. So we're very excited to be a part of that. 83% of the budget is in people, and it's really important for people to understand that it is because of the work because of the general fund, we're able to have low class sizes and to be able to provide support for our staff and our students. But recognize that 83% of the budget is dedicated to people. And all of the conditions influence that. Last year, even with moving to $15 an hour, we were able to reduce the millage rate by 0.5. And that means our millage rate now is 17.631. When you look at our millage rate compared to the other 9 districts that are larger than ours, we are considerably low. Our job is to make sure that we are fully prepared to ensure that our students are successful and our staff is successful, but also making sure that we maintain a strong fiscal position. We do not have any bond debt, 0. That calls for applause. There are only a few places where there's 0 bond debt. We worked for years to get out of debt. And so we are now very, very proud to be able to say that we have 0 bond debt. You know that song is electric? Well, we were one of the few school districts across the country to get a grant for $9.8 million to buy some electric buses. How about that? The board approved the purchase on February the 1st, and even our police department, they were kind of on the front edge on this. They purchased and upgraded their electric vehicles as well. So we've been at this for a little while now, but we're excited to be able to, once those buses come in, put them on the road. We'll also be establishing, of course, some depots around town to make sure that those buses are able to move. You see here the number of meals that we have served so far this year, nearly 4 million meals, and you see the number of miles that our buses have driven just this year. We're not even done with the year yet, so this is as of February 2023. We're excited about and appreciative of both our school nutrition workers and our bus drivers. So if you'll join me in giving them a big round of applause. Well, what can we say about E-SPLOST? E-SPLOST is a stimulus package, I'm going to tell you that. The Board of Education has made a commitment, and the administration, to making sure that E-SPLOST dollars, as much as possible, can stay in our community, support our families, support the work. It was approved in 2021 at the highest rate since its inception, 74% approval rate. The first E-SPLOST was approved in 2006, so we've been at this for a while, and we've been able to make lots of progress as a result of it. Here are the E4 projects that you will see and understand the impact that it will have on the community, and also understand the impact it has on our families. The K-12 campus, if you've been down 21, you've seen it. Now, there was a report that was issued the other day that said it was going to be open in August. We're going to keep our families adequately advised as to when they will be able to move into the building. It is coming along, and we are very watchful of the progress. But I don't want anybody to get overexcited, because there's a whole lot to getting that building up and going. And they are working feverishly to do that. So we are going to keep our families advised about when this building is going to be open, but we're excited about it and excited for our children to be able to walk through those halls. New Windsor Forest High School, if you know anything about the 6th District, you know they have been waiting Anxiously for New Windsor Forest High School, we are excited to be able to get that project off the ground. And if you know anything about District 5, you know that Pulaski, we're so excited to finally be able to work with our military and get that converted to a K-8. That will happen very soon. Very, very excited. You see the other projects that we have going on over here, New Bloomingdale Elementary. Certainly we have athletic complexes. When I first moved back to the district, we did not have our own athletic complex. And now we spend less money renting athletic complexes, stadiums, because we have our own. So we're continuing with that. We definitely are looking at expanding Godley Station. All of that growth on the west side of the county has required that we think and do some work to make sure that our students are comfortable. On the finance side, it's a big, big operation. Just know that our finance department continues to earn national awards for budget management. I think we're 25 years running, or 25 years running, and all that information is available for you. We also this year created our 2021 annual report, and we'll make sure that you can access that information as well. The budget is online. You can see where every dime goes, and we are also giving reports every month so that you're able to see how the money is spent. Not only our general fund money, but all grant monies, as well as E-SPLOST dollars as well. And very positive audits, which we are definitely interested in making sure that we maintain that. We're very fortunate to have a quality board. That was a designation that we sought, and you will see that it is still in effect. We earned the quality board designation in 2022. You'll see photos there. Dr. Buck is with us, but you'll also see a photo of Mrs. Hines. They were a part of that group that qualified for that, and that designation continues to this day. So we're excited to have our quality board recognition by the Georgia School Boards Association. So looking to our future, these are the things that we're continuing to work on. We must continue to focus on literacy so that we can meet that third grade reading challenge. That has to be and continue to be a focus. You heard me talk about the Literacy Task Force earlier, because we have lots of teachers across the district. Some of them come, unfortunately, without the strongest reading courses behind them. So we're continuing to look at professional development, but also what are the tools and practices that we need to ensure that our children are prepared. You heard me talk about expanded early learning opportunities. If you didn't know it, Georgia does not require that children come to school until they are 6 years old. If they come to school at 6, if that's their first experience, we have missed the fastest growing period for their brains. You can see a discernible difference in the behaviors, and you can see a discernible difference in their ability to manage an academic environment when they have had those early learning experiences. If you don't believe me, talk to a first grade teacher who can tell you the difference between the children who went to kindergarten and pre-K and those children who may not have had that experience. Now, it doesn't mean that they may not have had really good, solid experiences at home, but for many of the children, they are still coming to a school environment and still learning how to socialize and be a part of that. So early learning opportunities has to be a continued focus. And we also have continued, like every other school district in the nation, with our transportation options. That's why we're offering CDL training for people, because we have to have transportation to ensure that we have a greater participation. It often leads to absenteeism of our young scholars. So transportation continues to be a challenge. Student and staff wellness, we are seeing, just like on television, just like every place else, we are seeing some challenges with student and staff wellness. So that will continue to be a focus. And we must all work together to look at community wellness. And by that I mean the issues around housing, the issues around food supply. Those basic issues impact how students perform. It impacts whether they come to school. As of today, we have 644 students who have been declared as homeless. That means that we must put our arms around and build a village for those young people and their families. So we have to work on those indicators of community wellness as well. We're ready for budget season, and that means lots of considerations about how we do this efficiently and effectively. Like every other school district, we are faced with enrollment fluctuations and shifting populations. Long-range planning, which if you're paying attention, you'll see us engage in that. We're going to continue to work on it. And then, of course, we are searching for the superintendent who will be the 25th superintendent of the district. That's an intense process that's already begun. There is an online survey. I invite you to go to our website and click on it and take that survey. And we also invite you to stay tuned to look for the public information sessions that will allow you to come in and give some feedback. There is a special place on the website that indicates or that has all the information about the superintendent search on it. And that's so that you can all stay up to date on how that is going as well. It's because of you, all those people that we talked about and all those things that we're doing. We're doing all of that because of the children. That's what it's about. As a product of the public schools, and as a mother of children who completed the public schools, I know how important they are. In fact, they're beyond important, they're critical. So I'm asking each of you to share the information that allows people to make really good decisions for their children. We're not perfect, but I would say we do a doggone good job. And a good friend said to me one day, sometimes when I talk to parents, they want me to behave as if every one of our 37,000 children are operating with a personalized plan. And you know what? There may not be a formal personalized plan that's written, but we do our very best every day to meet the needs of children. We don't always get it right, but most of the time we do. And when they leave us, we want them to be able every day to say that they've had a good experience at school, that they've learned something. So we ask for your support. It is because of the employees, it is because of our community partners that we're able to celebrate in so many ways. So tonight has been just like it has been for every time I make a report to the board. I never am satisfied with what I've been able to report because I've left so much out. There are so many people who work daily hard just to make it possible for our children to have a successful life. So if you will join me in thanking all the people who go to work or come to work every day to make things good for our children. I thank you for the time that you have given us tonight. I'll remind you that the presentation, as well as the video, will be posted on our website so that you may go back and refer to it. The QR code is for our annual report, and we are working as we speak on the annual report for this year as well. We want to make sure that we get to do that so that we've captured for posterity the accomplishments that we've had during the year, but also that we pointed out, here are the areas that we're continuing to work on, so that if there is something that you can do to help us, you will be reminded of that. Again, thank you so much for being here tonight, and we are looking forward to enjoying the delicacies as prepared by the Woodville Tompkins culinary students.